Despacito. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Burrito. Da 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 da. Hey everybody, it's Jer. How are you? And welcome to another live. I'm doing another midday one because I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do one tonight. And I have a story I want to tell, and it's like dying within. Is it? Wait. It's not dying within inside me. It's dying to get out. And so I am going to tell the story. So I've been wanting to tell the story. I haven't had a chance to tell the story. I was embarrassed of the story, I guess. Also, thank you for listening to me sing like at the beginning of the video, the intro to the video. I'm in a different place. I'm actually in my living room, dining room type area. I wanted to come out here and do a video out here. I'm usually in my bedroom, in the bed, but it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday, and I was like, I am going to be out in the living room, not outdoors or anything, but so yeah, I'm having my coffee still, so excuse me as I drink my coffee. That's so boring. We should just cut that out, right? I wish, but we can't. No, like I'm embarrassed of the story, I guess, but I'm also like, I'm intrigued by what happened. So I had a week or two ago started talking to a guy on Grindr, and he, on his profile, it had a picture of him, and he was adorably cute, and he had a hat on, and the hat was kind of like that, and then he had longer hair. I don't know. It was just a really cute picture. He was in a car. It was a selfie, and I was like, oh, he's cute. He's adorable. He looks kind of like a punk rocker type dude. He was a younger, like 21 is what it said. And so we talked, and initially it was kind of like a, hey, let's get it on type thing. But that turned into a tell me more about you eventually, which became like, he told me that, like, okay, so we shared pictures, which you do in Grindr world, obviously, like you share pictures because you want to see more, like you don't want just a face picture and it be like they not be your type, and it just doesn't work. So he shared pictures, I shared pictures, and in one of the pictures on his forearm, it was a tattoo of Princess Leia, and I was like, that is cool, because he's like a geek, and I don't know what it is that I am into geeks right now. I don't know if it's a fad thing or if it's going to pass or stay around, but I am turned on by geeks. I don't know what it is. It's just it's cute to me. If you are a part of a geekdom, I may find that attractive about you if you're also attractive to me. Like, I can't just like, but anyway, so he had this Princess Leia tattoo. He was cute. He was my type. He was smaller built. I'm usually into guys that are smaller built to like muscle build and cut as in like muscles, but also cut in other ways, like that's hot. And so this is like this would be a bad picture. If I was to take a picture of this, distraction time, if I was to take a picture of this, I would be so upset with myself because I couldn't handle that being in the picture. So that's that's going to get to me. There. Except for whenever I go like this, then it's still going, well, at least it's like, it's not like cutting into that, and it's not cutting into my head unless I sit like right here. So if I sit right here, we're good. I'm so sorry. But then now we have this, which is also a distraction and frustrating, and we will continue the video. I'm so sorry. We will continue the video like this. Anyway, he was like my type of guy. But on his profile for Grindr, it listed chat, friends, networking, I think. And so I was like, okay, well, something is up. Also, it didn't list that his relationship status, if he was single or not. It didn't have any of that. It was just a very basic profile that just mentioned chat and networking and friends. And so I was like, this guy. We initially started off talking about hooking up, and then as we talked more, he was like, so we asked what we're into and all that. However, here's the thing. Whenever I asked him what he was into, usually whenever you ask a guy on Grindr what they are into, it's like, I guess, assumed that you are asking like what they're into sexually. And so I think if I want to know more about somebody, if something like catches my eye that shows me that they have a personality outside of just being really cute, we'll say, what are you into? And then in parentheses put uh, in general and or sexually and in general, because in the gay world you can be like, oh, I'm a top, and if you're a top and the other guy's a top, then it might not work. It may work, whatever. But so I asked him, what are you into both sexually and in general? And he didn't answer the sexual part of it, but he listed off that he was a geek, first thing, and which I already knew because of the Leia tattoo. If you get something tattooed on your body, that means it's probably pretty important to you, probably something that you're really into. And so that told me that he's at least into Princess Leia and probably into Star Wars, which could be like a very geeky thing, and it's just so dreamy. It's so hot. If you're hot physically and you are something that I'm into, like emotionally, I guess, yeah, I don't know, attracted to, then it's just like done. But so he had this Princess Leia tattoo, and then whenever I asked him what he was into generally, he listed off that he was a geek and he loved to read, which I love to read. I love it. I think it's great for people to want to learn more and read and like become more knowledgeable about the world around them, or even to read fiction. Like I read a lot of nonfiction. I read autobiographies and memoirs and stuff that about people, because I love people. I want to know more about people. So that's what I read. But he mentioned that he was into that. Then he mentioned outdoors, running, which I try to do when I can, and then I bike almost every single day. So I like that. I like to be outdoors. And then what else? It was just a list of stuff that a lot of the same stuff I was into, and I was like, that is so fucking cool. It's amazing, and that's awesome. And I want for whoever my future love is, my future boyfriend thing, I want to have a lot. I would like to have more things in common, but I want to also have like things like, oh, you're a geek and you're into this, that's your thing, and I want them to have a thing that I don't have in common with them, that I can learn about, that they can share with me, that they're passionate about. If you're passionate about it, then I like people who are passionate about things. And so and he wanted to know more about like my photography and like storytelling, and so it was just like, it was, I don't know, it felt great. It felt really great. And I told him about YouTube and that I do these YouTube videos, and he was like, that's cute, and yada yada. So yada yada. And so we ended up exchanging numbers, and we talked, and but the thing is, like, we would talk throughout the day, like while he was at work. We would talk a lot. We would text quite a bit. And whenever I got a chance and I wasn't in class, I would be texting him. And same, like he would be texting me whenever he wasn't busy at work. He would step away and text me. And we did that. And then whenever like 5 o'clock hit, he'd be like, I'm off now and I'm going to the gym. And be like, awesome. And we did this for 3 or 4 days. And then on like whenever it came to be night, it was like he would text, but it wasn't as much, which I was like, okay, well, he's just really busy. Um, but yeah, so we would still be texting, but it wouldn't be as much. And then whenever morning came, it was like a lot of text again. And I was like kind of fishy of it, but also I was understanding because people have lives. We have lives that we have to live, and yeah. So we got to like day 4, and he was like, I just got off work and I'm heading to the gym. And I was like, awesome, you should come by and give me a kiss. I was like, I'm headed to Starbucks, and which I was really heading to Starbucks on my bike. I was like, I'm riding my bike to Starbucks right now. You should come by and give me a kiss. And I was like, that's something cute to say. And then he had sent me a picture, like another picture of himself, but it wasn't in the moment. It was like this, like it was like a picture of him shirtless, standing in front of like this like house plant thing blocking his junk. And I was like, that's cute, sexy. And anyway, that was before me saying you should come by Starbucks and give me a kiss. And then like I got to Starbucks and messaged him, and it showed delivered. We're both on iPhones. It showed delivered, and then he didn't respond. I was like, oh, well, he's at the gym, so he's going to be busy with that. And then I waited a few hours, and like I got busy with doing homework and writing and doing some other stuff. And then it got to be nighttime or bedtime, and I had gotten back home, and I was like, well, I'll text him good night. So I texted him good night, and this time the message didn't even show delivered. It sent, but then it didn't show delivered, and I was like, maybe his phone is dead. And so I was like, okay, cool, well, I'm going to go to sleep. Went to sleep. I did a YouTube video, went to sleep, got up the next day, and went to look at the phone again to text him. Well, not to text him, but to see if the message had been delivered, if he had responded, and the message hadn't been delivered and he hadn't responded. And I was like, okay, well, I'll send him another one just in case his phone had been dead and he didn't get it. And so I sent him another one. I was like, hey, good morning, sexy, blah, blah, little like emoji with like the little heart, and yeah. And it didn't go through. And I was like, that is odd. And so I was like, well, maybe he's just not getting text messages. This sounds really desperate of me as I'm like telling you this. I was like, maybe he's just not getting text messages. And so I was like, well, let me go and see on Grindr if he's still on there, and maybe I can message him there or something, which also sounds really desperate. But I was like, I checked on his Grindr profile, and he had taken down the picture of him and put up a picture of a heart as his profile picture. And he hadn't been on for like 2 days at that point or something like that. And I was like, huh. And then everything kind of came together for me. And I'm assuming here, but I think he's in a relationship. Like, I think he has a boyfriend, and he was just like kind of like testing out the waters. And we had actually planned on like hanging out or whatever, but it's not a big deal, whatever. But I was ghosted. I was like ghosted. Like, he pulled me in with his like Princess Leia tattoo, and then he ghosted me. Like, he just fell off the face of the earth and stopped talking. And I was like, but it's better that way. It is better that way. Like, if he was in a relationship, again, I'm assuming, I would rather not be like the home wrecker that didn't know that he was wrecking a home or wrecking this. And so it's better that he, I guess, came to his senses and was like, hey, I need to work on my relationship. And it would have been nice if he had communicated that, like been like, hey, I didn't tell you this, but I have a boyfriend and I want to be able to focus on that. And I'm sorry, I was just testing out the waters on Grindr. I really liked you or whatever, but I want to be able to focus. Cool. And that's awesome. And we're being adults and we're doing this. And yeah. So yeah, I was like, this guy, like, he was like, T-Bar69 says, Hi, T-Bar69. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well. I think your name was Tyler, right? I'm doing good at remembering you guys' names. I don't know how, but I am. Yay. But so that's my story. I think it kind of goes along. I did a video the other day talking about rejection that I ended up having to delete because, ended up getting deleted because I couldn't get it to upload for whatever reason. Don't know. But, so it's not there anymore. But like rejection happens in the world and it's a good thing. It's an amazing thing. It's a great thing. We should like it's hard to go through, but if you can look at it, take a step back and perceive it different, look at it differently, understand that rejection is a healthy thing because it is the universe telling you that this thing is not right for you. So this goes in line with that. Being ghosted is actually a good thing. It's better to, it would have been nice to like have some kind of communication behind that. And sometimes I ghost people. I don't know if I should admit that, but sometimes I will ghost people if I feel like it's not going anywhere. This lighting is really harsh. Like harsh, unnatural light. I'm just noticing. Sorry that it makes me look like I'm like sunburned and really orangish, but let's do that. Is that better? You can see my face better. We're almost all the way through the video and I'm just now noticing that you can't even really see my face because of shadows and the lighting's really bad. And yeah, so see, what was I saying? Rejection. Oh, it'd been better if he had communicated that. I think that's a more adult thing to do, to just be like, hey, we're all adults here. I made a mistake, but also maybe you just don't want to waste your time anymore. And that's what I do whenever I ghost. I hate that. I hate saying that I ghost, but I will sometimes ghost somebody if I feel like there's just no chance of this thing making it for whatever reason, or I don't relate to the person. I will step away and just be like, I'm done. And I don't know how to communicate to that person. And I know that their reaction to that may be just really dramatic and I don't want to deal with the drama. So I will just step out of the situation and be like, okay, I'm done with this situation. And sometimes I will block them. For instance, I had this one person that he would, whenever I was in a relationship, would write me, and he was in a relationship, would write me and be like, hey, we should go behind their backs and do this. And I'm like, no, whenever I'm in a relationship, I am loyal. And my relationship was actually even, it wasn't open, but we were open to a third. And I was like, our rules are this. And I'm going to stay in these rules. We can have a third, but we do it together. We do not do stuff separately. And I'm sticking to that. And I really do stick to the rules in whatever relationship I'm in. We have made those rules for a reason. We agreed on them. I stay loyal to those rules. But this guy kept on. He was relentless in trying to get me to go behind not just my boyfriend, but his boyfriend's back and us do stuff. And I was like, no, it's not going to happen. He would text me in the middle of the night. I would be up. And it was kind of I look at that kind of bad now. I wish that in that relationship, I wish that I had tried harder to get more on Stafford. You guys have met Stafford. I'll talk about Stafford. More on Stafford's schedule because there were nights that I would stay up really late and Stafford would be in bed at 11. And I don't know. I wish that I had done better on schedule because that's whenever bad stuff happens, is that you're up in the middle of the night and then you're doing stuff without your partner there, sexual stuff, but not necessarily with other people, but I would get to looking at sites and it was just a distraction and I wish that I had actually done that differently. But anyway, this guy would text me in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, be like, hey, my boyfriend's in bed asleep. How do you feel about me coming over now and we can do stuff in my car? And I'd be like, your boyfriend's asleep, my boyfriend's asleep. We have boyfriends. I've told you, me and my boyfriend are open to a third. and that would be cool. Maybe even like having 4 people, but like no, like I am not gonna do it. So I would refuse him, and refuse him, and refuse him, and then whenever my ex and I broke up, I was like, and actually he had broken up with his ex too, with his boyfriend too at the time, and I was like, hey, how about let's meet now? And he was like, yeah, but I am more wanting to go on dates and stuff. It's like, okay, well, I'm not really in a place to go on dates yet. I don't want to do that because I'm not exactly over my ex yet, and I want to work through. I want to take some time to work through that. And he was like, okay, cool. Well, I don't really want to mess around. So I was like, okay, which was really odd to me. You wanted to mess around with me whenever we were in a relationship, whenever we both had our own relationships, but now that we're not, you don't? Cool. And so I just left it at that, and he was like, well, let me know whenever you get to the point that you want to date. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Well, a month and a half passed, and I was like, I am okay with not necessarily dating, but with hanging out with guys and seeing where things go. And so I contacted him. I was like, hey, so I'm cool if you want to just like hang out. Like it can be kind of like a date. We don't have to have sex. We don't have to do anything sexual. We'll just hang out. And he was like, no, I don't really want to do anything dating right now. I'm like seeing this guy, and plus I'm still kind of working on things with my ex. And he was like, but we can mess around. What? Like, okay, so what are you doing, and why? And like, I get that we're always in different places in life, and like we have to kind of adjust to wherever we happen to be in life, and that's what he's doing, and great. But it's like we're never on the same page. How in the hell are we ever going to be on the same page in a relationship, or even just hanging out? So at that point, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to do this with this guy anymore because it's just been back and forth. I'm not wasting my time with it, and I blocked him. And I basically just ghosted him because and I didn't exactly block him like right away. He would send me messages throughout the week or whatever, and the week following that, and I just didn't respond. And then finally I was like, I'm tired of this. It's annoying. I'm gonna block him, and I blocked him, and I ghosted him. So that's one instance of, I guess, ghosting. And then there have been other instances whenever I first meet a guy, and I'm like, oh my god, he's really hot, like this is really great, and then I get to know their personality, and it's just not gonna work, and I don't know how to like back away from that and not like you're gonna hurt them if you ghost them probably, but I don't want to ghost people. So, or I don't want to hurt people or the drama of it. And if I'm going to have to hurt someone and have the drama, I would rather just have them hurt and then them deal with that drama and work through it on their own, because I just don't have time for it. So yeah. So I have ghosted people before. It's not a fun thing. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of being ghosted, but I get it. And so that's my story. Like it's kind of an embarrassing thing to have to go through, but it's also a good thing. It's a healthy thing, because not a healthy thing, because I do feel like maybe I should talk to people before I ghost them, but I don't want to deal with the drama of it. So maybe he just thought I was going to be dramatic about it, which I wouldn't have been. I would have been like, cool. I'm glad that you talked to me about it, and that you're working on things with your relationship. And that's just assuming he has a relationship. Maybe he just has a lot going on. He's like, I don't have time for dating guys or doing any of this, so I tested it and I just don't want to do it, and back away from it, which is great too. But I don't know. Like, I am learning through this experience, like through, I guess, this dating experience and meeting guys and getting to know people, making friends. I am learning so much about myself and what I'm really interested in. Whereas, like, and I feel like whenever I first started back at this after the breakup and that, I feel like I was very scared, because I'm 33 and I'm like, this is the end of my life and I don't have any more life to give. But in reality, like, I don't. It's just an age. It's a number, and you are able to learn stuff at 33. You're able to learn stuff in your 20s, and we are all at different places doing different things. And I'm learning about myself and what I'm like really into now, and what I have been into has changed throughout time. Even like everybody says that whenever you turn like 25 or like they have an age, oh well, you know who you are at 22. Fuck that. You do not know who you are at 22. You do not completely know who you are at 25. There's no like set age for knowing who you are and what you're really into. And I feel like putting an age on that is like putting this really ridiculous expectation that you're going to be perfected by this point. I have been pretty perfect through like for me, I feel like, well, and I feel like everybody is perfect. You're perfect for who you are at whatever age you're at, and it's fine. Like you don't have to meet this really ridiculous expectation of being this or that, and it's fine. Just be you and be happy. And if you happen to be 21 and a CEO of a company, awesome. You make that work for you. If you happen to be 33 and like just going back to school like myself, and you're just really figuring out that, hey, the storytelling thing is my thing, awesome, go for it. It's not too late. And you're just like, if you're 50 and doing that same exact thing, it's okay. Like it's good. You're learning who you are still, and it's an amazing thing. And I feel like if you ever hit a point that you're like, okay, that's all I have to give for life, and I understand who I am completely, and this is it, and I've made it, and awesome. What are you living for? So I feel like you have to keep going, and you have to just adjust to whoever you are at whatever age you're there and make it work. Yes, I'm doing a lot of talking. If you don't like this video, I'm going to be upset. Make sure you like it because this is like deep with Jared, deep. But I need some coffee. Do you guys have experiences being ghosted or ghosting, or I guess anything else, any of those other terms that we're using now? There are, thank you guys for liking, like I'm seeing them pop up now. Thank you. There are like so many millennial terms now that for dating that I had no idea existed until recently. Whenever I was like looking them up, I knew about ghosting. Ghosting's been a thing, but there's also an article. I read an article. I don't remember. I think it was posted by some HW. Hey, it's Hunter, your Grindr friend. Hunter, your Grindr friend. I don't know which. Hi, Hunter, my Grindr friend. Welcome. Actually, on my profile, I list my YouTube so that people can like get an idea of like my personality and who I am. But yeah, that threw me off. Thanks, Hunter. What was I even? Oh, there's like these like, I think it was written by Business Insider or something like that, but it was talking about millennials and a term that they're using called cushioning. And it is where you're in a relationship, but you have like backup guys that just in case things, or I guess backup people, just in case things don't work in your relationship and you see it like going rocky, then you have these backup people who either know or don't know you're in a relationship, but that are like your backup plan. So you have like backup A, backup B, backup C. What? And people are doing this, and like, I mean, I get it. I guess it's kind of smart, but it just, to me, it means that you're not giving whatever your current relationship is. There's a reason your relationship is on the rocks, and that's probably because you're not giving your relationship everything you could, everything you should, because you're focused on backup plan A, B, and C. So if you're not happy in your relationship and you're hanging out on the couch, like texting your backup, whichever backup, and not spending time trying to work on your relationship, then it might be that you're the problem in your relationship and that you probably shouldn't be in a relationship in the first place with the plan you're in now or plan A, B, and C. Maybe you should be like working on yourself, but that's just my opinion on it. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. if you're watching this video later, you should comment and let me know about if you've cushioned somebody, been cushioned, or ghosted or been ghosted, and say hi. I'd love to be able to say hi back if you're watching this video later, and hi to everybody who joined. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I try to do videos daily. Also follow me on Twitter, MicroJair, Instagram, Jared Johns, and Snapchat, Jared Johns. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.